So those of us who've studied Hebrew at school, we learn the Masoretic text. I would not want to have to learn Hebrew without any vowels. It's tricky enough as it is. So there you've got the change from the every single letter in a block. You've got words grouped together letters grouped together to be a single word. This is the innovation plus vowel. It's called vowel pointing. So you know whether it's going to be an A or an O, or whatever, depending on the points.
So can I just clarify? So the Masoretic texts were about 500 to 900 AD.
Yeah.
So this is obviously after the New Testament's been written, but this is just the Old Testament people that were still Jews were copying it.
Correct.
And when he's talking about the exile, he's not talking about the Babylonian exile now. He's talking about after Jerusalem was destroyed in AD 70 and Jews again were spread out throughout the world.
Right.
Is that
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Diaspora, I guess. Well,
It's how
more
we
than
use it
diaspora.
today. Yeah.
But yeah. Ashkenazi Jews. I think the conductor or somebody over at Queensland something or other, he's some conductor. His name is Vladimir Ashkenazi. The Ashkenazi Jews were the Jews who were shipped to Rome after those who survived after the fall of Jerusalem, or the fall of Israel as a whole. They went to the north. There were other Jews who went to the east, but the ones that went up into Europe are called Ashkenazi.
So can I ask you a question here? So the Vulgate, the Latin Bible in 400 or whatever.
Yep.
Did they use the Greek translation of the Old Testament as
No,
their basis?
I believe Saint Jerome was the guy who did the Vulgate.
Yeah.
He was fluent in Greek and Hebrew.
So he used, what did he use? The Talmudic text?
So he would have used, it would have been a Talmudic text, and that's why, people don't want to put too much weight when you look through, when you do textual criticism, when you determine what is the exact text. But they do give a little bit of weight to the Vulgate, even though it's in Latin, because they know that, St. Jerome gathered up all the oldest documents that he could when he was alive in about 300 and whenever. And so if it was old in the year 300, and if it was reliable, then we want to give a certain amount of weight. If he's got an unusual reading at some point, I can't even think of a good example, but if there were one, then people would just note, the Vulgate reads this way. And is it because St. Jerome translated it oddly into Latin, or is it because he had access to some older text that we don't happen to have?
Very interesting.
That sort of thing.
The verse in Isaiah about the virgin shall give birth. The fact that the Vulgate uses the term virgin helps make it less likely that it just was meant to be young woman. Right? Which is one possible meaning of the Hebrew word.
Yeah.
So it's
free, absolutely, almost entirely irrelevant bonus trivia. I went to the Parthenon in Nashville, Tennessee. They have an exact replica of that. Speaking of exact replicas, and I didn't think about it until later. Parthenos, the Greek word, sometimes disputed for it seems almost certainly properly translated virgin. I mean, I don't want to say almost certainly. They're correct to properly translate it. But Athena was a virgin goddess, and so her place was the Parthenon, because that's where the Parthenos was. So that's the place of the virgin goddess. So there you go.
Definitely bonus trivia.
Yeah.